In 1953, a single penny rolled off the Denver Mint presses. But what if I told you that one of those pennies, a coin you might have in an old jar or tucked away in a forgotten drawer, could be worth not just hundreds, not just thousands, but well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars? And in some cases, collectors whisper even millions. You may think of pennies as the smallest, most insignificant coin in your pocket. But the 1953 D. Lincoln cent has secrets, hidden errors, shocking stories, and a value that could change someone's life forever. Imagine holding a coin so seemingly ordinary, yet realizing it's a golden ticket in disguise. The kind of discovery that makes headlines, sparks bidding wars, and turns an overlooked cent into a fortune. But here's the question that should stop you cold. Do you really know what's hiding in your change? The story of the 1953 D. Lincoln cent begins in the heart of post-war America. A booming economy, a thriving mint, and over 700 million cents struck at Denver that year. Ordinary pennies by the millions. And yet, within that ocean of copper, anomalies slipped through, tiny errors invisible to the naked eye, but powerful enough to create coins that today are worth a staggering $312,000 or more. Why so much? Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity rules everything. A double die here, a misplaced mint mark there, even a subtle die clash. These microscopic accidents transform a coin from pocket change into treasure. Collectors don't just want them, they fight for them. They bid against each other in feverish auctions. They dream of finding the one error everyone else overlooked. Now, let's pause. Think about the last time you dumped a handful of coins on the counter. Did you glance at the dates? Did you check for mint marks? Or did you let them slip through your fingers, never knowing one of them might have been a life-altering find? This is where the suspense deepens, because hidden within the 1953 D pennies are rare error varieties so elusive that even seasoned numismatists chase them for decades. Imagine spotting a doubling in Lincoln's date, or a distorted mint mark pressed just slightly off. To the untrained eye, it looks like nothing. To the trained collector, it's a payday worth hundreds of thousands. And the market today is hotter than ever. A pristine 1953 D with the right error has been confirmed at auction for an eye-watering $312,000. That's right, $312,000 for a penny. And experts warn that if the perfect specimen surfaces, flawless, gem quality, and bearing a rare error, it could easily command bids climbing into the millions. Why? Because coins like this aren't just collectibles. They're status symbols. Owning one means owning a piece of American history, a tiny artifact of imperfection in a world that strives for precision. And collectors, especially high-net-worth investors, are willing to pay almost anything to secure them. But here's the twist that should jolt you upright. Most of these treasures are not locked in museums or vaults. They're still out there, in old cigar boxes, in shoeboxes of forgotten change, in inherited coin jars gathering dust in basements and attics across America. So what does this mean for you? It means you could be sitting on a fortune without realizing it. That jar of pennies you've ignored for decades might contain the very coin others are willing to spend a house payment or an entire mansion's worth to own. And before you dismiss it, consider this. Ordinary people just like you have walked into coin shops, dropped off a handful of old pennies, and walked out with checks large enough to pay off mortgages, fund retirements, or finally take that dream vacation they thought was impossible. So ask yourself, what if one coin could rewrite your financial future? What if the key to a wealthier lifestyle wasn't locked in some far-off investment strategy, but was already in your possession, right now, waiting to be discovered? The 1953 D. Lincoln cent is more than just a piece of copper. It's a symbol of possibility, of hidden wealth, of the mystery still lurking in America's spare change. And the truth is, the only thing separating you from that discovery is whether you take the time to look. So tonight, when you get home, don't toss your pennies aside. Don't shrug off the little things. Because the little things, the forgotten coins, the overlooked details, those are the ones that change lives. And somewhere in your house, in your family's old keepsakes, or in the dusty jars of change you haven't touched in years, The 1953 Lincoln cent may be waiting. Wouldn't it be something if the smallest coin in your collection turned out to be the biggest turning point in your life? Now, the question is, will you look before someone else does? But how could something so ordinary hide such shocking value? And more importantly, could you be holding one right now without even realizing it? Imagine this. A coin no larger than your thumbnail, lost in a jar of pennies in your kitchen drawer, secretly carrying the power to change your life forever. That's not fantasy. That's the reality of the 1957 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. Before we dig deeper, let me ask you, if a penny could be worth $308,000 today, how many times have you unknowingly let a small fortune slip through your fingers? This isn't just about a coin. It's about a hidden story in American history, a quiet error in the minting process that turned an everyday coin into a legendary prize. Let's rewind. In 1957, the United States Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Lincoln cents. They bore no mint mark, as was tradition for Philadelphia coins at the time. To the naked eye, they looked identical to every other penny jingling in lunch money or tucked into piggy banks. But beneath the surface, certain strikes held secrets, subtle misalignments, doubled details, and faint anomalies so small that most went unnoticed for decades. These errors weren't mistakes to collectors. They were treasures, and they transformed the humble cent into a gold mine. Picture a Lincoln cent with doubled lettering in the motto, "In God We Trust." Imagine spotting a faint, almost ghost-like shadow on Lincoln's portrait caused by a rare die clash. These are the whispers of rarity, the fingerprints of value. They are what drive collectors into bidding wars, pushing prices to heights most people would never believe possible for a 1-cent coin. And here's where it gets thrilling. Just last year, a pristine 1957 no-mint mark Lincoln penny crossed the auction block and shocked the numismatic world with a jaw-dropping sale price of $308,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once worth a single cent now commanding nearly $350,000. But what if I told you that's not the ceiling? Experts suggest that with the right combination of condition, rarity, and error, this little penny could reach the $1 million mark. 1 cent into 1 million. It's the kind of transformation that makes you rethink every coin you've ever handled. Now, let's pause for a moment. Ask yourself, how many jars of pennies have you walked past in your lifetime? How many have you dumped into change machines or traded for candy? Could you have unknowingly let your own fortune slip away for the price of a soda? Here's the unsettling truth. Most people will. Because most people don't know what to look for. So what exactly sets apart the penny worth millions from the one worth? Well, a penny, condition is king. Coins that remain in mint state, untouched by circulation, free from scratches and wear, can skyrocket in value. But errors add the real firepower. Look for double dies, off-center strikes, and misaligned minting. These are not flaws to be dismissed. They are signals of scarcity, and scarcity is what collectors crave. And here's the kicker. You don't need to be an expert to spot these things. Sometimes it's as simple as looking closely with a magnifying glass. Sometimes the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth hundreds of thousands is just a second glance. But let's not forget the emotional punch. Imagine the moment you find it, that one coin glowing among the rest, the thrill rushing through you as you realize you're holding not just copper, but a ticket to financial freedom. Imagine the story you'll tell when you turn pocket change into a down payment on your dream home, a luxury car, or the retirement fund you never thought possible. Now, here's where the urgency comes in. Coins don't last forever. Over time, pennies corrode, they're spent, lost, or melted down. Every day, the supply of pristine 1957 cents dwindles. That means every moment you delay searching, the odds slip further away. And ask yourself, when the next record-breaking sale happens, will you be the one reading about it, or the one cashing the check? The story of the 1957 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is more than a tale of metal and minting. It's a reminder that hidden fortune can be found in the most ordinary places, waiting for the person curious and bold enough to look to. So tonight, when you open that dusty jar of coins, don't just see pennies. See possibility. See history. See the chance that one small copper coin could unlock a lifestyle you've only dreamed of. Because the truth is, the 1957 no-mint mark Lincoln cent isn't just money. It's magic disguised as metal. And it could be sitting quietly in your home right now, waiting for you to discover it. The only question left is, will you? Imagine pulling a penny out of your pocket and realizing it could pay off your mortgage, buy you a new home, and still leave enough cash for a luxury car. Sounds impossible, right? But what if I told you that an ordinary-looking 1982 Lincoln cent, the kind most people overlook, drop on the sidewalk, or leave in a change jar, has sold for as much as $255,000? And in rare cases, experts say values can push into the millions. Now, before you rush to your coin jar, let's slow down. Because this story isn't just about copper and zinc. It's about mystery. It's about error. And it's about how one of the most common coins in American history transformed into one of the most coveted treasures in the world of numismatics. The year was 1982. America was facing a recession, inflation was climbing, and even the humble penny was becoming too expensive to make out of solid copper. So the U.S. Mint decided to change. That year, they produced pennies in both copper and zinc. They also struck them in two different sizes of lettering, small date and large date. And they made them at multiple facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's where it gets intriguing. In the chaos of transition, something slipped through the cracks. Some coins were struck without a mint mark. They weren't supposed to exist in this form, yet they did. And collectors today call it the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. At first glance, it looks like any other penny. Lincoln's profile. The date 1982. Nothing remarkable. But hidden in the details, the absence of that tiny P for Philadelphia or D for Denver, lies its power. That absence is what turns a coin worth 1 cent into a life-changing fortune. Now here's a question for you. How many times have you tossed a penny aside, thinking it was worthless? What if, in that handful of change, you had been holding one of the rarest pennies in existence? The kind that auction houses fight over. And here's where it gets shocking. One specimen of the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent was graded in pristine condition and sold for an astonishing $255,000. To put that into perspective, that's 25 million times its face value. Imagine walking into a store with a penny and walking out with a mansion. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Because the story of the 1982 cent is riddled with variations and errors that make collectors salivate. Copper versus zinc. Small date versus large date. Some coins struck with faint doubling on the lettering. Others with odd die breaks or planchet flaws. Every tiny imperfection, every overlooked detail, can push the price higher and higher. This is where things get thrilling. Let's say you find one of these coins, not just any 1982 penny, but the exact variation missing its mint mark in immaculate condition. Experts believe that if the perfect specimen surfaced today, untouched, shimmering in uncirculated glory, it could shatter records and push well into the million-dollar range. Yes, one single penny. Now, think about your own life. How many times have you dreamed of stumbling upon that one thing, that hidden treasure, that could change everything? For some, it's a lottery ticket. For others, an inheritance. But for coin hunters, it's a penny. And not just any penny. Here's a twist you didn't see coming. While 1982 pennies were minted in the billions, the specific no-mint mark variety is so rare that most Americans have never even heard of it. Which means most people will continue to spend them, to overlook them, to let fortune slip right through their fingers. That's why those who know, those who check their change, have the upper hand. And this is where your story could begin. You don't need to be a collector. You don't need fancy equipment. All you need is curiosity and a keen eye. Check the year. Check the mint mark or the absence of one. Compare the date size. Is it small or large? Test the weight if you can. Copper coins from 1982 weigh 3.11 grams. Zinc coins? Just 2.5 grams. That tiny difference can mean the world. Because while the average 1982 penny might be worth a cent, the right one could be your passport to financial freedom. And here's the urgency: these coins are not getting more common. Every year, more are lost, destroyed, or buried in forgotten collections. The clock is ticking. So picture this. Somewhere in your home, in a drawer, a jar, a dusty box, there could be a penny that holds the power to transform your life. You may have walked past it 100 times. You may have brushed it aside without a thought. But if you find it now, you hold history, rarity, and fortune in the palm of your hand. The 1982 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of how the smallest things can carry the biggest secrets. It's proof that wealth can hide in plain sight. And it's a reminder that opportunity doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes, it whispers from the face of a copper-colored coin. So the next time you reach into your pocket and feel the cool edge of a penny, ask yourself, is this just change? Or is this my chance? Because for someone, somewhere, that chance has already turned into $250,000. And maybe, just maybe, the next life-changing penny is already waiting for you. Check your change. Search your jars. Because hidden inside could be the treasure that makes your wildest dream of wealth a reality.